Ms. Aditi Agarwal is a seasoned entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in building consumer-focused businesses. She is the co-founder of Namaste Foods, a South Indian quick-service restaurant that has become a trusted name for safe, authentic vegetarian comfort food in Bengaluru. Namaste has successfully positioned itself as a daily essential for families, professionals, and students alike, known for its quality and cultural authenticity. Chef Shreya Adka is a celebrated culinary artist and founder of the French Door, one of Coimbator's most acclaimed European restaurants.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Shreya. Honestly, it's a pleasure to host you guys. And I called you guys and you said yes. And that's the power of women. Our response time has to be good. That's why we are different. So I'm going to ask straight away, Shreya. From global kitchens to building one of Coimbator's popular restaurant, what's been your biggest learning as a chef entrepreneur?
I think being a chef entrepreneur has given me a completely different dimension to the restaurant business, because I think I've always had to juggle between being a chef and being passionate about food, and then making that work in terms of seeing it work in the paper as well. When I've always gone to my restaurant, it's always been a choice between the two. And one cannot exist without the other, because if you don't have good food, you're not going to see the revenue, and likewise, you're not going to be able to sustain if your food is not there. And at the same time, if you have a good backup, but then you don't have food that you believe in, I think initially it might run, but after a while, you might not see the restaurant function as it would. So following a fine balance between the two is probably one of the biggest challenges that I have experienced.
I think you need some kind of a grit to do that, or discipline like that. I don't think so. I'm designed to do that. For me, I'm an entrepreneur, period. I can't cook for nuts, honestly. People don't believe it, but really I don't cook. I don't cook. So I have people I hire and I can blast at them if they're not performing. You can't even afford to do that. Yeah. So Aditi, what's one thing Namaste got right early that really helped you scale?
Yeah. So the thing that we got right was, stay focused. Focus on your vision, focus on your menu. Do what you think you can do the best, right? Believe in yourself. So let's say when we started Namaste, we started with just 7 items, because we believed that we can do these things right. And the customer, if he eats and goes, he should come back to me. Like how the previous panel said, you need to focus on retention from day one, right? So we stayed focused on our customer, we stayed focused on our vision, and we stayed focused on our menu, where we planned a lean menu. Even 6 years later, today we just have like about 20 SKUs on our menu. So we just do what we can do right? So the focus on everything that you are trying to do, we're not just doing it for the sake of doing, and nobody should do it for the sake of doing. Don't add menu items, or don't take a diversion in your journey just because you think that today you're not making profits, or today because your competitor is doing something. So I think staying focused was the key for us.
And I think to add what you're saying is, minimalistic menu is a way forward. Honestly, in a QSR segment, it's easy to manage. And customer come and go, they will give their own feedback. Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? But we as entrepreneurs, we know what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Yeah, it's easy to get diverted, but then what will work for you in the long term is staying focused.
Yeah, you're right.
Shreya, you trained in baking and patisserie, but now run a full-scale restaurant. How did that transformation happen?
So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and part of it was knowing that I knew every department that I had learned to be utilized in the restaurant. So when I looked at multiple options initially, I looked at Chennai as an option, and then I thought, why not Coimbatore? Because 10 years back, I think you were the only restaurant that was there, and honestly, I felt like Coimbatore needed more in terms of food, because I think when you have more restaurants, there's always, it's nice to have competition. It's nice to have newer restaurants come in, because there's always space for people to grow in this city. So coming back to your question, starting in Coimbatore, I was honestly uncertain if I could just run a bakery and earn something out of it. So it started with, let me do short eats, and then one thing led to another, and I think when you start something, you really don't know. It's like a painting. You don't know what the end product is going to be. And even today, French Door is constantly evolving in terms of what we do, what we serve. Especially during COVID, we started baking breads, and there were a lot more avenues that we got into. So I think it's a business where you need to learn newer things to keep keep up with the competition. Yes.
I think sometimes it's not about the competition also. Sometimes we need to pivot. Let's face it, when I opened On The Go in 2010, 100-cover restaurant, and we had only continental food available, but I didn't realize that numbers are so limited, those are going to enjoy the food. So we pivoted in 3 months of time, added Indian to it, and it just changed the whole revenue. So we all do that, and what you're saying is right, not too sure, but yet you don't want to be a failure. So pivoted very quickly, added the menu.
Absolutely.
Aditi, I just read about you from Guitar Club to Dosa Central. What's been your biggest learning in this food journey?
For over 10 years, I think the one thing that I consciously tell myself is don't take decisions in haste, right? So whenever I take a decision in haste, most often or not, I regret it, right? So there are going to be, like everybody said, this is going to be a pressure cooker sort of an environment, right? Running a restaurant and running 7 restaurants is not going to be easy. But then things will break and you will be required to take decisions on the go. But then just give it some time, take an hour out and then just think about what you need to do. You will get good solutions to act on, right? Don't take decisions in haste is something that I practice religiously and consciously.
So what is Guitar Club about? What is Guitar Club?
So Guitar Club was my first entrepreneur venture, and this was right out of my first job. This was a live events company, nothing to do with the food specifically, but we were curating events for the F&B partners, so from Hard Rock to B-Flat to basically all across Bangalore, we would be hosting events and helping the restaurants increase their AOV and etc. Right? So we did 1 million in annual run rate over there, and then with the change in the rules from the government with live music etc., we just shut that company down. So we tried to sell it to somebody, and then that's when
how the QSR happened with
QSR happened, and that's what Guitar Club.
I think we need to sometime think differently than the others, as what you're talking about Guitar Club. In my own property, I do multiple programs. I do stand-up, I invite people from outside, and we don't actually make money at that time. It's just to give probably something new to the city which no one is doing it. So, but you could have still continue your Guitar Club. Why don't you do that? You don't want to do that anymore?
Like again, I would come back to the first point. I need to be focused.
You want to be focused in your food business. I get it. Shreya, what's one kitchen disaster you can laugh about? Let's be open today.
One kitchen disaster. Well, can we just maybe do 2, 3? Yeah. No,
I think let's share something. What happened behind the doors? I'll also share multiple things of mine then.
So I think, when it comes to food business, it's always till the last minute, right? Like, if you see in a retail business, you have a product that you're buying from somebody else and you're serving it. But here, you need to be constantly on top of your game. And in a day when you're sending out almost 100, 200 plates, you need to have it perfect every single time. And disasters do happen in the kitchen. I don't deny that, you cannot.
You share yours, I'll share mine. I have done bigger disasters.
We try to reduce the number of disasters that there, but plenty, especially when you work in a restaurant, you can have your entire electrical supply just conk off in the middle of the service. Your oven can stop working, and then from there it's all about firefighting. I think a lot about entrepreneurship is just about being there and thinking what you could do at that moment. So I think that's...
Yeah, I know it's a tough space. Today I'll open something what I have done it, and so it's a high pressure work behind the doors. And when your team makes a mistake, you have to go apologize on their behalf. That's the saddest part to do it. So one of my guests came, I won't take the name, they're pure vegetarian people, and we served them non-veg. They ate the entire food. Then they realized, and I can't tell you after that what story. I was sitting in Delhi at that time. They called me up. I don't know what to tell them. I said, I'm sorry. Beyond that, what do you do? But I lost the customer. I sent apology letter to them, I sent food to them, but over. So this is what happens in our industry, not that there are a lot of things we should not do it, but these mistakes happens. Beyond apologies, we do not know what else to do. Beyond on-the-house food, what else to do? Sometimes customers do not even want on-the-house food because they are so angry. So how do you bring anger down? We have to manage these emotions also very often sometimes in the restaurant. Delayed reservations, they are there on time and we are not able to offer tables to them. I'm sure you must be, not you of course, but yes, she also must be finding the similar problem.
Absolutely,
yeah?
Absolutely. And when you were talking about the vegetarian and non-vegetarian, I remember the little flags that you brought in. But yeah, that's about entrepreneurship. You try to bring solutions to the problems that you face every day. So
Yeah. So we are announcing that we also make mistakes. We are also humans, but we can only apologize.
Thank you.
Aditi, you are building a strong brand and a strong home, I believe. You have a little daughter. Yeah. How do you balance both? Or do we just pretend? I am balancing, but we are actually not balancing. We're just pretending to balance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's easy. Of course, it is a task to balance both home and work. And then when you're building a big brand, you obviously need to give it all. But I think what has been key for me is, one is just setting the expectations right with the family as well as with the working partners, right? So that just gives them clarity as to when will you be available, when will you not be available, and so on and so forth. The other thing is that you will have to trust yourself that you can do it. Now that you've stepped into it, you are there, and then there's no point doubting yourself. You will be able to do it if you believe in yourself, right? So
I think yes, you're right, but you are a young mother. I can afford to say many things now because my son is big. For a young mother to manage the business and home front is definitely not easy, and our guilt goes very high, very quick. We feel sad that why aren't we taking care of our children. I remember my son was 6 years old when I started the restaurant business, and I used to bring him to the restaurant, make him sleep on the sofa. But that was my journey.
yeah, absolutely.
That kind of sacrifices, I think we do it very often,
And then I think we should just ask for help. Sometimes
Yeah,
we shy
we don't do
away
that,
and
yes.
we don't do it.
We don't do that,
But then
yeah.
mother-in-law, any grandmother, any nanny, whoever is available, you should just ask for help, right? So
Yeah.
because otherwise the child will be neglected. So you will have to do something or the other.
So I think probably before I open it to audience, I'll share one experience with me. It's about biases, what we carry, and I'll come to you also whether you experience a similar journey along with me. So I remember once in on the go, a vendor came, I think, to meet, and the first thing he asked me, "Sir, enge?" I said, "Nanda, sir. You have to talk to me." So we carry these biases so much that women means they can't be the bosses. Only men are supposed to be bosses. Then the poor guy got so startled with such a stark reply coming from me. Have you also experienced that, Sarenge?
Of course. Well, I think to quote an incident that happened in my restaurant, we had the one of the safety officers who came in and he was asking, is there anybody else in the restaurant? No, I'm there. I'm right here. No, I don't want to talk to you. I said, why do you not want to talk to me? And, I think in especially in the restaurant industry, people are still, kind of juggling with whether I can accept this person in this position. But biases are there every day because, as in a professional kitchen to talk about the side that, as a chef in the kitchen, very rarely do you see women go there, put themselves out there, because in India, so many women cook at home, but we don't really, feel proud of what we cook. And most of the times, it's just about going there and telling your story, being there, being the face of the brand. So I think the biases will come down when more people enter.
Yeah. More women coming
More
forward, I think, will
women,
change the biases. Yes, yeah. So, have you experienced a similar thing? Never.
I think, of course, I have. So it's not just the customers. I think it's also your staff and your partners, vendors, etc. Right? Who, like for example, one of my senior staff, me and my co-founder, he's Siddharth, so male. So what he said was, मैडम से ये सब बात करने के लिए नहीं होता है. So like on a tricky topic, he was very comfortable talking to him, but not talking to me. So that was something which is just pure bias, right? That he just did not feel comfortable talking about an issue to me, but and it was not something personal, but it was something about the business that he wasn't just simply comfortable talking to me.
And I think we have to announce it more often. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I'm the boss. Talk to me.
But I also have to add this, sometimes it's good being a woman in the food industry because a woman can bring a feminine touch to when the food
The
is going
empathy and
out
love
there.
that it requires.
You go, you smile at your customer. I think that is something that it is not, I wouldn't say is not, accomplished by a man, but I think it brings an aura which...
Because we are warm people by
Yes.
nature. Intrinsically, we are warm people. That's
Yes.
it, yeah. So I think that we have only 45 seconds left. I'll leave it. Audience, you have any question to ask them or me? Happy to answer. No questions, yeah? I like it. Anyways, I think we'll do the closures because we are already running late by half an hour. And thank you very much, Shreya and Aditi. Wonderful chatting with you.